It was a video of my fiance grinding on a male stripper.
Do you think it's a setup?
Yes. Plotting best friend tries to take your man. It happens. Hey guys, welcome to today's episode. We are going to be diving into a bunch of Reddit stories today, and today's theme is pick your battles wisely. I don't know if I would call myself the most confrontational person, but I believe that sometimes it's just annoying to have a problem just standing there. I don't want to dilly-dally. I just want to solve it and be done with it. And the fastest way to do that, confront the person or the issue. But let's see if OP's made the right choice in today's stories. Let's get into it. Our first story is from the subreddit aita. Am I the a-hole for canceling my wedding after I got a video of my fiance grinding on someone during the bachelorette party? I feel like I'm going to get some mixed opinions from you guys here. I think stereotypically when you watch a movie, a bachelorette party, what are you going to see? Or even a bachelor party, where do they always go? They go to some party town, or they go to the bar, the clubs. Maybe there's some dancing involved. Maybe there's some, sometimes there's a little, something a little bit spicy involved. What is your view on that?
My view is, I would say it's relationship dependent.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I would not find that okay.
For you or for me?
I think for both of us.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think we're in the same boat.
I would say there are probably relationships where couples are okay with that.
Yeah.
And I know that, I guess, in the American culture, some people are
It's
okay.
more out there. Yeah.
Yeah, like bachelorette parties are where people kind of toe the line, in my opinion.
You're so diplomatic about it.
Yeah. From my perspective, I don't find it okay. But
yeah.
Once again, like, who am I to judge other people's relationships? But given what you just said in I guess just the excerpt that you read, it seems that one party is okay with it and other party is perhaps not.
Yeah, I think personally, I have my own views, like not for me, not my vibe. But as long as both parties in the relationship are okay, I'm with M here, Mr. Deep Voice here. Like, you do you. Not for me, but you do you. But let's see where this is going. OP says, my fiance and I were supposed to get married next month. Ooh, supposed to being the key word here. I was really looking forward to the wedding and spending the rest of my life with my fiance. Last month, we had the bachelor and bachelorette parties, and I got a message from an anonymous source. It was a video of my fiance grinding on a male stripper. My fiance did seem drunk, but I was shocked that they would even invite a male stripper, and secondly, that she would grind on him. I talked to my fiance after the parties and showed her the video, and my fiance did apologize and say her friends just wanted a more adventurous bachelorette party. However, I just thought this was a massive betrayal. And after taking a week to think about it, I canceled my wedding and broke up with my fiance. My fiance was really shocked and even hysterical and cried a lot. But mentally, I just couldn't do it anymore and imagine spending the rest of my life with my fiance. Am I the a-hole? A lot of friends and family on my fiance's side think this was really harsh. So we got a little look into the whole story here. First thought I'm thinking is, I don't think OP was too harsh because this is just, I'll be honest, this crossed the line for him. He was clearly not okay with it. This wasn't communicated to him. And at no point did fiance tell him beforehand or after. Not that I think you need to report everything you're going to be doing if you're not spending that time with your partner, but there's some things that if you know your partner is going to feel some sort of way, you really should have a conversation prior to just doing it. Because it's giving off the vibe that maybe the fiance didn't think that OP would ever find out. What do you think?
I think that's a likely scenario. But in any case, when you go to marry someone, I think at that point you should know the other person and what they would be okay with.
That's true.
Not everything. I would say maybe not 100%, but something as as I would say See, now I'm kind of doubting myself a little bit here
Why?
because the whole grinding thing is, for me personally, that is not okay. But
No.
I see videos online that seems to be a norm for some people, and that is completely, I guess, normal. Which I don't know what to say to that, but
See, this is what weirds me out. I think I'm in the same boat where I'm not sure what is considered normal anymore. Because obviously we aren't into that vibe. But when I see videos, I agree with you. We see this all the time. We see it in movies, we see it in little viral clips everywhere. And it's almost like my philosophy is very easily summed up in one line, which is if I wouldn't do it in everyday life and I wouldn't be okay with it and my partner wouldn't be okay with it, why would I do it right before my wedding? Because I don't view it as, oh, the bachelorette party. This is the last time that for a freedom. What is it? A lot of people say, oh, yeah, this is your last night of freedom. Hello? Getting married to me is an honor, a privilege, if you will. And I think that extends to everyone who gets into this, well, who wants to go through a wedding, right? It's supposed to be like almost like you're welcoming into a very positive next chapter of your life. I hate to see that so many people view it as some sort of like chains or, oh no, you're getting tied down or you need to let loose or be free before you're tied down. Like, why? That's kind of really sad, no? Maybe you should get married. I don't know. Maybe if you think that way, maybe just me, but maybe marriage is not for you. Is that weird? Is that controversial?
and I think it's a whole spectrum from, I guess, extremes on both ends, where someone could have a very open relationship on the other end. It's a very kind of a strict, controlling type of relationship. So
But see, even then, like when you bring up control, I think it's viewed that way. Like some people might look at our philosophies, right, in a relationship and say, "Oh, you guys are so controlling of,
mhm.
of each other. Like, oh, you wouldn't trust each other to do." I'm like, this is not a trust thing. It's just like, how do I say this? I'm a clingy gal, guys. I don't like to share my partner in any capacity. Like in normal sense, like, yeah, okay, it's not like I'm like, okay, he's not allowed to leave the house. Mohaha. Like, not like that. But in a sense of in a sexual manner, that's just weird to me. You know, because for me, maybe I'm old school. Maybe this is like an old school traditional thinking. But once I like someone, I just like them and I only want to save any sort of, I guess this is going to sound weird. I hope my parents aren't listening. Sexual attention or flirty attention towards the one person. You know, I'm very traditional Disney gal like. Maybe that's old school. So it's very weird that people even entertain like a male stripper. Like I don't fault the male stripper because that person's just doing their job. You know, they were paid to do something and they went there and did it. I just fault the fiance because clearly OP was not okay with it. I think he's justified because he thinks what he thinks, right? He thinks it's a massive betrayal. So yeah, you're justified. My issue is a lot of people have mixed opinions about okay, what is big considered big enough for you to call off a wedding? Like what's your deal breaker basically, right? Because at this point, if you're almost getting married and you find out, you have the reservation done, you booked the venue, you paid for all these vendors, you invited all your family and friends, like everyone is in the know that this big thing is about to happen. And I think a lot of people actually end up going through with it even if they're not 100% sure with the wedding just because there's so much pressure. Like, oh my God, like you committed already. Technically, it's almost like you committed before even committing and saying I do. So then a lot of people like just pause and go, oh, well, I have to go through it now. So I'm actually glad that OP, well, didn't drop the D word, but broke up with the fiance before. And okay, of course, her friends and family are going to think this was really harsh. But I think they're kind of wrong for that. I think they're kind of an a hole on the sidelines. Because first off, relationships I believe are between A and B, and anyone else should see their way out of it and stick their nose elsewhere. I think this is one of those situations. So no, OP, you're not the a-hole. What do you think?
I think it's the same way. I think each couple and each
Okay.
person within the
Okay. I know your diplomatic answer, but in this specific scenario, do you think OP's the a-hole for canceling the wedding? Because everything's booked, everything's ready to go. And he just straight up went, nope, wedding's over.
no, I don't think they're the. I as I was saying, I think everyone has
No.
uh I would say like a boundary that
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone knows what it is yet. I mean, you might have some sort of ideas, for example, like the stereotypical cheating, right?
Right.
Uh,
In this
but
case, grinding on the male stripper.
yeah, and I guess different people will consider that cheating or not. I would say I
Yeah.
don't think it's like a crazy thing that no one would think, oh, it's not the grounds for a breakup or
Yeah.
anything like that. And I am kind of
Taken aback?
no, not taken back. I'm actually kind of proud of the OP. I guess
Oh, like, yeah.
what is the right word?
I
Like,
think you're right. Like, you're kind of proud. Like, because are you saying you're proud of OP because they stood up for themselves and made the decision?
yeah, I
Yeah.
am kind of happy that OP made the decision now because I think it would have bothered them, and I don't know if the OP could get past that decision or past that event,
Yeah.
and they might have gotten married and would have broken up like years later potentially.
Mhm.
Um,
I would agree with that. I think the red flag for me wasn't just the video that was sent to OP, but really the fact that when OP tried to confront the fiance about it, fiance didn't take accountability. For me, accountability is a big thing. Like, okay, you did it, own up to it. But she just went, oh, no, no, no. Well, sorry, my friends just wanted a more adventurous bachelorette party. I mean, are you really going to blame your friends? Your friends did not make you grind on a male stripper. Let's be clear. I think you effed up. You should have owned up to it at least. And what bothers me is people might say that this is me nitpicking, right? But it's almost like how someone addresses their F up says a lot, in my opinion. Because if they're the type to not even own up and then start dancing around and say, oh no, it's this person's fault, or oh, that was just the way things are, or not taking, I guess, ownership or admitting to what they did, tells me that they don't acknowledge it's a problem. And I think Opie did the right thing. I mean, he did take a week to think about it, so it's not like he kind of did it on the spur of the moment either. So good for you, OP. Let's see what the comments say. First comment from Accomplished Ad. When one of her friends starts coming to check on you and trying to get close, that's who sent the video. Ooh, I didn't think about it. That's true. If the video was taken when fiance or ex fiance now was partying with the girls, who else could have taken the video and sent it other than one of the girls?
do you think it's a
Mm,
setup?
yes. Okay. It could be that one of the girls felt guilty and then was like, "Ah, I have to send this to that soon to be husband, like OP, because I can't let him go on like knowing like if they're just trying to be decent." But see, maybe I'm a little pessimistic. I'm thinking a little darker. I think whoever, assuming it's a bachelorette, maybe one of the bridesmaids secretly has wanted OP from the very beginning. And she was just waiting for her chance. And so she swoops in, records this video, and goes, aha, I've got the evidence. Now I can send it anonymously and then be the shoulder for OP to cry on once the wedding's done. Hmm? Hmm?
That's a very long shot.
Oh,
That's a
what
Hail
do
Mary.
you mean? What do you mean? It could happen.
I mean, the first part of it, but then OP, I guess, falling in love or being in a relationship with a person who has
What?
done that.
I didn't say that OP would fall in love. OP wouldn't know. See, the
How would you not know?
no, like she would just say, imagine like the bridesmaid, right? Her plan has been hatched. She has succeeded in foiling the wedding. She just needs to swoop in now. She'll just start out by saying, hey, so sorry I heard about what happened. I'm sorry I couldn't stop her. I told her it was a bad idea with the male stripper, but she insisted. And then they kind of bond over a shared sadness. And then they're like, let's go out for drinks or let's go out and eat. Next thing you know, a hand on a back rub, like a pat on the back becomes like a rub on the shoulder, becomes a half hug, becomes something
Mm,
else.
I don't know. I don't. This is not a Korean drama. I don't think the OP is gonna fall for that.
Maybe OP won't, but doesn't mean she won't try. I have to say, guys, I am not condoning any of this behavior. I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a part two, like soap opera happening in the background. It happens. It happens. Plotting best friend tries to take your man. It happens. You seem unconvinced.
I, I I'd say it's a possibility, but I would think it's unlikely. But who knows?
Who knows? Another comment from Rosita Maria. My daughter was very surprised when, at her small bachelorette party held at her sister's home, a male stripper showed up. Yep. The sister hired this guy and he proceeded to take his clothes off and sleaze all over her despite her saying, no, thank you. She finally got him to leave and reamed her sister out. Totally embarrassed. Ah, that's also a thing. So there's also a culture, I think, of surprising your best friend with a stripper at their bachelor or bachelorette party. I am hugely not a fan of that trend. One, because it's kind of uncomfortable. That's not like you know what a nice surprise would be? Oh, look, I ordered boba tea for everyone. Surprise. Or, oh, look, I got us, I don't know, all admissions to the all you can eat seafood buffet. Surprise. Like that's nice.
Of course, everything's food related.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm trying to think of what's a nice prize that's not food related for me.
There's nothing you can think of.
It's hard, actually. I don't know what I would want without besides food. I mean, if anyone wants to ever throw me a surprise, and you're listening in, FYI to my girlfriends, and even to hint hint, and my Mr. Deep voice, I welcome food surprises. Please, no male strippers though. We literally might break up our friendship over that. What is your opinion on friends surprising friends with kind of, well, with strippers?
Once again, I'm being a diplomat here. I think you have to judge the relationship
Okay,
to
well,
know whether.
say assuming they're not comfortable with it. Clearly not comfortable,
Then
not the right
don't
setting.
do it.
But
Simple as that.
some people still insist on doing it, right? They're like,
And
no, 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 man. Let me give you an experience before you get married.
You're
Or,
being an a-hole.
no, babe.
You're being
like,
an
no, go.
a-hole. That's the end of it, in my opinion.
I agree. That would make them an a-hole. See, for me, surprise gifts are only gifts if they're received well. Otherwise, they're just horrible surprises. They're just bad surprises. I feel really bad for you, commenter. The fact that your daughter was surprised by her own sister at your own home, that's very uncomfortable. Please, no. I'm just imagining this guy shows up, he's doing his job, and the sister, the bride, is just like, oh, please don't. Please, let's not do that. Please, no. Ugh, uncomfortable. All right. So that was our first story. As uncomfortable as that story was to hear, I hope you guys have been getting comfy with our storytelling here. And if you have, don't forget to like this video and hit subscribe, guys. It helps a lot with our channel. You guys know what time it is if you've tuned into an episode before. Our next story is our wild pick. Now, wild pick is just that, a story that's a little kooky, a little bit chaotic, but the minute I saw it, I thought of you guys and wanted you guys to hear it. This story is from the subreddit, Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for having a go at my boyfriend when he ate the last of my food while I was in the bathroom? I'm gonna be a horrible judge. I'm already biased. No, you're not the a-hole. Boyfriend's in the wrong. How dare he eat your food, OP? Problem solved. I don't even need to hear the rest. Why are you nodding?
Given our relationship, yeah, that's a big no.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I think everyone at this point knows that you're very into food.
Yeah, but I share my food, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah. It's just when it comes to the last bite, I feel like there's some sort of social etiquette. Am I wrong? When it comes to the last morsel of food, I feel like the quantity of food dictates what the social etiquette is.
I'd say, especially if it's, I guess, shared food.
Yeah.
Probably want to
share it.
Well, not just share it, but before you, let's say, take the last bite, you probably want to ask.
Yeah.
I don't know where this comes from. At least that's from my culture. That is, I guess, polite thing to do. But
yeah.
Who knows? I don't know if that's normal. I guess generally normal or a thing to do.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's almost like, no, okay. I don't know how you judge by a last bite, right? But there's a social etiquette around if there's a little bit left. Well, first off, if it's shared, you make sure you take just enough so that you kind of visually divvy up the food in your mind. And you're like, okay, I took enough so that everyone could at least get a portion, right? And then if there's a certain, say there's like a few bites left, you kind of ask, does anyone want some? Or did everyone get some? Before you kind of go in for the kill.
Yeah, essentially last portion, whatever that may be.
Well, let's see what OP's situation is. OP says, So, my boyfriend, 24-year-old male, and I, 24-year-old female, went to a restaurant for only our second time eating out together. This week has been really rough at work, and I asked him to go out for food, saying I needed a pick me up. I mentioned I wasn't super hungry since I had already eaten, but I was really looking forward to having some dumplings and soup. I even talked about how excited I was for dumplings during the drive there. I do like dumplings and
We
soup.
should have some dumplings after this.
Yeah. I told you guys about the steamer, right? Em and I won the steamer from Raffle a long, long time ago. And we've had it out on our dining table for like weeks now.
We haven't used it yet.
We haven't used it yet. But what's funny is we've steamed dumplings. We just haven't used that dumpling steamer for whatever reason. So we should have some dumplings. Opie says, when we ordered, I made it clear that I only wanted 4 dumplings and some soup. My boyfriend ordered 2 large mains for himself since he has a bigger appetite. When the food arrived, I shared my soup with him and tasted a bite of his food, but I was mostly focused on my dumplings. When my dumplings came, I ate one before I needed to run to the bathroom. When I got back, he had eaten both of the remaining dumplings. I was really upset because I had been looking forward to him and only got to eat one. I told him how disappointed I was and called him selfish, saying he never thinks of me. I asked him to pay for how much he ate since I had specifically wanted those dumplings. I don't want to make a big deal out of it, but I feel like he should have asked before just taking them, especially since I had expressed how excited I was. Am I the a-hole for getting upset, calling him out for being selfish, and asking him to pay more? Dang, girl, you went there. You were like, pay for those dang dumplings you took from me. Okay, hold on. Let me assess some of the facts before I reaffirm or change my judgment. Fact. So this is their only second time eating out together. So like second time after becoming official, like boyfriend, girlfriend. So okay, so you guys are fairly new in your relationship. Okay. You did talk about how much you wanted the dang dumplings. And there's only 4. You know what I hate the most? This is a little bit off topic. I hate appetizers. I hate them so much. I hate their portioning sizes because here in the US, entrees are ginormous. They're like enough to feed a family of like 3. A lot of like the entree sizes, right? But yet appetizers are almost like little bite-sized foods. And I know you might say, okay, V, but it's an appetizer. So they're supposed to, I don't know, whet your appetite for the main course. Yeah, sure, maybe, but like be serious now. What normal person is only going to eat 4 dumplings? I feel like that's just weird. You have little tiny appetizers, but then you have ginormous entrees.
I would say I generally agree with you, but we've been to places where the appetizers could be a meal as well.
That's true.
Remember when we ordered like I guess the breadboard or whatever it's called?
Oh, okay. Okay. That wasn't acceptable. Thank you.
That
Thank
is
you
a
for
whole
getting a
meal
big portion.
basically.
Yeah. We did finish everything though.
Yeah, but we were feeling very full after that.
I was okay. I was okay. I'm not about full. I was adequately fed. I'll say. Okay. Maybe I take it back. Maybe I'm being a hypocrite here. It depends on the appetizer. I think for dumplings, you should serve 6, not 4. I think 4 is a little bit like petty. I think it's a
How
little
big
bit
are
petty.
they?
Well, usually dumplings are like, I don't know, the size of a length of an index finger, I think.
I mean, there are
Right?
various types of dumplings.
True. There's like bows and then there's like wrapped dumplings. Then there's like crispy and steamed ones. For this, Opie doesn't specify, but assuming they're like around the average dumpling size and that she only ordered the dumplings and then shared soup with him. Yeah, boyfriend's an a-hole. I'm sorry. How could you? Okay, it's different if you guys have been together for so long that you know each other's habits. I think that would make you even worse of an a-hole. But currently, it makes you a clueless a-hole. So I would say boyfriend's kind of like a light a-hole. And I say that because, okay, let me tell you guys something. Em and I have gone to fights over food before, right? You might call it nuts a little bit, but it's been over food. Specifically, if I'm looking forward to food and Ems has the attitude of like, he's like a vacuum. Like he'll eat the food, he'll enjoy it, but he's not like me where it's like, "Oh my god, I'm craving 10 billion things and then I'll eat them all." You know? I've learned the hard way that with M, I have to be a little bit more careful. If we're sharing food, like you're smiling, but I'm getting like pissed remembering
I know,
memories.
I know what you're getting at.
Like
Sometimes I'm not thinking of it, just vacuum everything in front
Yeah,
of me.
like, it is so good, but he eats so freaking fast. Why do like, I saw a TikTok video on this, so I'm not the only one. Why do men eat so fast? Like, holy cow. Like, I'm over here enjoying, like, I'm having my moment, like, this is so good. I swear I took 2 bites. I look down, M's plate is empty, and he's working on mine. Like, as someone, I'm getting whiplash because I don't know if I ate my own plate or if he finished everyone's plate. Like, what's going on here? So for me, like we in our relationship, we kind of know better where it's like he tries to be a little bit more conscious of, okay, let me make sure like V's had some, but then also I try to be conscious and like divvy up the food a little bit beforehand. So it's like whatever's in front of him is kind of like in arm's reach for optimum grabbing like speed, I guess, of food.
Huh?
So it's almost like for you, I feel like you have like emotion. You're so efficient with your eating that is like boom, 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 done. And for me, I'm like, nom, take my sweet old time. Not that I'm a slow eater, guys.
Eh,
I swear I'm not slow. I'm slow compared to you though,
yeah.
because I blink and you're done.
Well, I would say you might be a slow eater if by the time you finish the food, some of the food is already cold on the plate.
Okay, but to be fair, we don't have plates that reserve heat, that like keep the heat well.
Doesn't matter, but most
No,
dishes.
it does. It does. Guys, try to convince me well, no, not don't try to convince me. Help me convince M. I've been trying to get us to get those like I feel like okay, adulting is when you reach a certain phase where you get really excited about random kitchen appliances. For me, it is those heat preserving stone plates. Oh my god. We like they use them in restaurants where they keep the food warmer for way longer. Like even the ramen bowl ones. Oh my gosh, by the time you're down, like the food is still steaming. At home, our bowls don't keep food that hot for that long, like at all. All the heat just flies away. Don't you smile? It's not because I eat slow. I swear it's a thing.
I'm
It's
just
investment
joking. I guess it's a thing, but
that
like
we should
I never
invest
have that
in.
issue to finish my food before it gets cold.
Think about it. I think it's investment that will help improve our quality of life. Right, guys? Right?
You have to show me what you mean by that. But
I will. I will. But regardless, back to OP's problem. I think boyfriend's a soft a-hole here. Because he probably didn't mean to, but he might be the type to just like, eat and then not look. But then wait a second. Wait. Does that just make him a careless a-hole? Then I take back the softness. Maybe he's just a careless a-hole. Because how could he just eat all that food when you only have one dumpling and some soup? That's just mean.
yeah, I'd say the boyfriend is the a-hole because it was OP's, I guess, main dish, right? The
Yeah,
dumplings,
yes. It may be an app, but it was her main dish.
right? I think it's just general courtesy to ask before you eat someone's food.
Yeah. Do you think OP went too far though? Because she said you have to pay for this now
Yes, so
specifically.
so that one is, I think OP was feeling a little bit petty,
Alone.
right? I would say rightfully so. Technically, yes, you can request someone to pay for the food that they've eaten. Generally, personally, I would not go there, and it's kind of a bit of an a-holish move, but I can see it both ways.
Yeah, I can see that it's almost become like it's a tit for tat situation. Like obviously, I because they're still new in the relationship, I'm actually gonna go with OP. You're not the a-hole for asking for them to pay because it seems like you guys aren't like that advanced into the relationship yet. Like Em and I, we've been together for a while, so it'd be kind of weird for me. I think it would kind of mean something else. Like it would mean something heavier and more serious if I were to be like, "Oh, you're paying for this now. You're on your own." It
Yeah.
would be different with our dynamic, I think.
Well, yes, it's also in our dynamic. We don't really do that where,
No.
oh, you pay, you must pay me half. We've kind
Oh
of,
no, no. So for them, because they're so much earlier, and this is like their second date, I guess, officially eating out, I'd say, OP, get your dumpling money's worth. Oh, you know what? I would go even further because at the end of the day, okay, so what if boyfriend pays for the plate of dumplings that he ate? You're still hungry. Ask him to pay for that plate and order another plate of dumplings, which he also has to pay for. I think that's the solution here. the perfect solution? What do you think? I rate my solution like an 8 out of 10.
Uh,
Conflict resolution
yeah,
class.
if I messed up like that, I would accept that resolution, whatever it would take to solve it, because that would be a big mess up on my part,
Yeah,
in my
vice versa.
opinion.
Like I would do the same. I would offer. I'd be like, no, like my bad. Let's order more. Like let's sit longer.
Yeah, but I think you're thinking too reasonably here.
Really?
Yeah,
Did you
because
just call me reasonable when I said that I would order a second
yeah,
dumpling and make them pay
you
for it?
have to put yourself in the shoes of the OP's boyfriend. They ate the food
Yeah.
while the OP was away without asking.
Scum! He's scum. It made me even angrier when I picture it. Because you know I'm picturing that this dude had his main dish. So he had another dish. Opie
Two
had the
two
soup.
main dishes.
Yes. Soup. And then there was like a dumpling. He already ate one of the dumplings because there's 4 in total, right? He ate one. Opie ate one. And then he ate the remaining 2. Scum. Never mind. It's just hard a-hole. No redeeming qualities here. Opie, get your dang dumplings. Get your second plate of dumplings too. Let's see what comments say. First comment from Special Respond. Who eats someone else's food without asking? That's ridiculous and rude. I hope you ordered some more dumplings and ate them before leaving the restaurant. Not the whole.
Was that you commenting it?
No, but this person sounds extremely reasonable. Opie actually responded. Opie says, I didn't want to eat more because I was annoyed, but I'll make sure I get them and hoard it. I'm just imagining next time they go out, if there's a next time, Opie orders her own set of dumplings on the table, I guess. And then before she goes to the bathroom, she's just like, nom, 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 nom. I have to eat it before he gets to it. It's Hunger Games, but with food. Another comment from Asparagus Tweak. Not the a-hole. Who the hell actually eats the rest of someone else's meal like that? That's so gross and weird, especially if he'd ordered a large amount for himself. How long have you been in a relationship if this is only your second time eating out together? Personally, I would make a big deal out of it, even if it's embarrassing for him because he deserves to be embarrassed. He was selfish. Call him out. If it were me, I'd dumpling him. Uh-huh. I see what they did there. That's pretty good. This is such a bananas thing for any adult to do. A++ for those food puns thrown in. I like it. I agree. And Reddit has judged this post. Not the a-hole for OP. I agree. Very sound judgment. We're kind of smooth sailing today, guys. I'm feeling very excited with these stories.
I'm thinking about the bananas phrase. I don't know why.
Why?
It's just the saying, I guess. It's so bananas.
Wait, why is that a phrase? You know when someone goes crazy, it's like, that's so bananas, or I'd go bananas over that. Why bananas?
I wonder if that's something to do with, I guess monkeys maybe and
Yeah, that's
bananas.
the first thing I'm
and
thinking about. Like, monkeys? Monkeys like bananas? But then what does that have to do with people?
Well, I guess
and like
monkeys
people?
can go wild, I guess. Maybe that's the
Wait, but is
that's
that
the
one of those
connection.
like lies? Do
Right.
monkeys actually enjoy bananas that much though? Because don't they eat a variety of like
I think they eat a
things?
lot of fruit. I'm pretty sure they're gonna eat
Yeah,
the
but
bananas.
specifically bananas?
Yeah, they're kind of experts at eating bananas. If you've ever seen it, the way they rip them open.
I'm gonna have to look this up now. Wait, do you peel a banana from the stem, right? From the stem, not from the tip.
Yeah, it depends on the ripeness of banana. Actually,
Really?
if it's too ripe, then you can't really do it without squishing it. Actually, kind of weird. Like I guess a party trick. I can like snap banana in half.
Oh, that's true. Okay, I've seen it. M just literally, he just goes like, I can't demonstrate to you guys. I would just look crazy with pantomime. Like, imagine holding a banana, right? He just goes, bam. Like, but there's like a crisp sound that happens. It's like, psh.
Yeah, it's not like you like fold it in half. You
No,
kind of
he just completely like manhandles it. I
yeah,
don't
you
even know
have to
how to
like
describe it.
kind of snap it, pull it apart almost, and it just
Yeah,
perfectly splits.
it's such a, I don't mean this in a bad way, but it's such like a barbaric action. It's very like, oh,
So I don't know how I ever like learned that or
I
when
don't
did it
know,
start.
but I can easily do it. And I'm just like, ooh, I'm just over here like, that's so cool. First time I was like, why? And then gradually it just kind of faded into amazement. And now my reaction is just like, very cool, honey. Very cool.
I can do the same thing with an apple too.
Wait, I don't think I've seen that. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
That has to
it's
do
all
with
about like finger positioning, and you
like
just
grip strength, right? That's like a grip strength thing.
partly, but it's also about just learning the technique.
Mm. I feel like you'd be this is like Fruit Ninja in real life.
Right?
Like, I'm just imagining you like Fruit Ninja style. Like, is that game too old? Do people even know what Fruit Ninja is? Okay, it's a mobile game where you slash fruit. I don't know how, like, out of date that game is, but I'm just imagining you Fruit Ninja in real life, like, just, like, people throwing fruit at you and you're just like, "Ah, huh," slashing with your hands or something. A special secret skill. Our third story is also from the subreddit AITH. Now, it is getting close to Thanksgiving, so of course, we need to start bringing some, some dinner stories, some Thanksgiving family gathering stories here. OP says, am I the a-hole for canceling Thanksgiving dinner after my family refused to follow one simple rule? For years, I've been the one to host Thanksgiving dinner. I actually love cooking and bring everyone together. But this year, my youngest child has a medical condition that weakens their immune system, so the doctor advised us to be very cautious about contact with anyone showing symptoms of a cold or flu. So, I made a simple request in our family chat. If anyone felt sick or had cold symptoms, please skip dinner this year. I didn't think it was a huge ask, just a small precaution for my child's health. But when I brought it up, a few family members got upset. They said they couldn't just miss Thanksgiving over a small cold and that I was overreacting. Some even joked that if anyone sneezed, I'd throw them out of the house. I tried explaining, but no one seemed to take me seriously. After a lot of back and forth, I decided to cancel Thanksgiving dinner at my place and told them they could gather elsewhere if they wanted. Now, several family members are angry, saying I went too far and that I ruined Thanksgiving with an absurd rule. Others think I'm punishing everyone just because they didn't follow my demands. Honestly, I was only trying to protect my child, but now I feel guilty. Am I the a-hole for canceling dinner instead of risking someone coming sick?
Initially, when I heard just one thing and canceling Thanksgiving about the
Mhm.
one thing, I was leaning towards a-hole because I
Mhm.
couldn't think of what that would be.
Yeah.
But given the situation and given that the importance of if someone's sick,
Yeah.
that could potentially actually kill someone, right?
Right, right, because the child
That's
has immune system disease, or
right.
sorry, not immune system disease, a medical condition that weakens the immune system.
Maybe that's also going too far. Maybe I'm just
Or like,
assuming
I mean,
assuming
it's
that.
just gonna harm the child.
Yeah, or
Like,
it can
yeah.
go very badly. I think it's fair enough to make the type of demand if you're hosting it, and just maybe for one day or one dinner. I don't think it's that crazy given the reasoning.
I agree with you. I actually think that regardless whether or not, even if OP's youngest child didn't have that medical condition, I think with family events or any sort of dinner hostings, we well, follow the host rules, basically. Like, they have this one condition. You could either get with the program or you cannot and go elsewhere. In my opinion, that's how it should be. I don't think this is such an outrageous demand. You know what annoys me the most? How callous people are with people's health. Like, I know I'm not saying that a cold or flu is, so life threatening that you need to cancel and put everything in life on hold, right? No. But it's also sucks to be sick. Like, it's annoying to deal with a cold, it's annoying to deal with a flu. And if you go to an event knowing that you're spreading it, you're a jerk. You're an a-hole because you're basically saying you're prioritizing your temporary fun over someone else's health because you don't know other people's health condition either. Like, most people don't actually want to get a cold or a flu from someone. Am I wrong? Like,
Yeah,
it's just not worth it in my opinion. Like, stay home.
yeah. I think that some people don't realize that because you get a cold, you usually
Walk it off.
yeah
I
you,
don't
you're
know.
you're kind of there's no real consequence,
Yeah.
right? You're okay, but the small percent of people uh, that could mean death, right? So uh,
Yeah.
some people just don't want to take that chance, and I think you should respect that in
Yeah.
that regard. Especially like since you're going to someone else's house, you're in a
Right? You're in their
private space.
space.
You're not even in the public. I would say,
Yeah. It's not
uh,
even it's open air or anything.
right? So I would say the OP is not the a hole. Now, let's say if it was like What demand or what rule would make OP the a-hole?
Oh, I have one. In my opinion, if you all need to adhere, regardless of allergy restrictions, to like one dish, I am all about it's the host rule. Like you follow the host's rules, you follow them. It's their house, their home, their event. However, my exception is you, as a host, you do have the responsibility to care for your guests as well. Not to an outrageous degree, but say if like you only served everyone, I don't know, boiled beans, and you're like, all right, that's my meal. That's for the event. You're an a-hole. Like, come on, be real. If you just serve everyone plain unseasoned beans, that's just criminal.
What if, let's say, previous years you were, hosting and you had,
Yeah.
let's say, turkey, and now this year you're like, okay, no turkey, no meat, essentially.
I would say you're an a-hole if you didn't let your guests know because you already have an established like trend, established tradition going on. And if you kind of like yank the rug from underneath them, didn't let them know beforehand so that they can work around it or decide whether or not they still want to go, host is an a-hole in that case. Like I think there's a delicate balance. Like as a host, yes, you want your guests to be comfortable, but you also can't bend over backwards. At the same time, I think guests are the same way. Respect the host, but don't go too far either. So that's my verdict. And I'm in agreement. Like, if I have a cold, like I've bowed out of family events before. So my family's pretty big. And when we have gatherings, it's almost like a banquet. And if you don't show up, people start asking questions. Like my family's pretty nosy like that. So they'll be like, why isn't V here? What's V doing? She doesn't have work. This is a weekend. What's she? It's like dodging a bajillion questions. And I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm like, sometimes I'm just tired, man. And I'll be like, hey, I'm just really exhausted from work or from other things. So I'm not attending this time, but have fun, guys. Like, I'll just be honest. Or if I'm sick, I'll literally say, I have a cold. I don't want to spread it to people. And I think my family's gone way better understanding and honestly leaving it at that and not kind of asking a bajillion questions and trying to pressure me to go like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's just a little cold. It's okay. I'm like, come on. So that's my take on this. But let's see what some of the comments say. First comment, Wizard of the Wub Wub. Not they hole. Plenty of time anyway for them to come up with a new plan. True. I think it's early enough that they can do something else. So it's not like OP was telling them, like, I don't know, a few days in advance. Another comment from Chicksack. Not they hole. Like you say, you're protecting your child. Imagine your child getting super sick because a family member brought a cold to your home. Then how would they feel? They're being selfish. Let them sort their own dinner. Okay, and here's the thing that I don't understand. At the end of the day, why is it ever on a scale that, temporary fun for an event, right? A dinner, and then the host's child's health? I don't think they should ever be on the same scale. Do you know what I mean? I would just respect what the host said and leave it at that. If you have an alternative idea to host, volunteer. You can host at your house and then you can decide whether or not people can come with a cold or not, right? Then at that point, it's on you.
I agree.
More of the story, don't be a bad guest, guys. But that's my take on it. I'm so excited for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is like the one month where I get an odd obsession with turkey. For whatever reason, from November 1st to November 30th, I can eat turkey every single day and I would not get sick of it. But something happens on December 1st where I'm like, okay, no more turkey. I'm done. I'm done for the year. But that's just me. I'm excited for turkey. Our last story is from the subreddit AITH. OP says, am I the a for not giving a woman a promotion at work because I saw her clap after every word when telling someone how to do something? At my company, we've recently had a position come up for a supervisor in our warehouse. I wanted to promote from within, so I put up a notice that anyone is welcome to apply and I'll consider everyone. It's an extra £5 an hour, so I had a lot of people apply. I've also been recruiting in the warehouse as it's gotten busy and took on another 10 members of staff. I always try and pay £5 an hour above market average to make sure I get better applicants. But it also means I get a hell of a lot of applicants. Hiring these 10 people meant sifting through over 1,000 applicants. Eventually, I got the 10 I wanted, and I want to keep them as they are great. One of the new starters is quite a timid woman in her early 20s. On her second day, she asked one of the other women who works there, named Heather, where to put a certain item once it had been unpacked. I was walking past when I heard Heather let out a big sigh and say, oh, that's going to be hard to demonstrate for you guys. I heard Heather let out a big sigh and say, I told you this yesterday for you to F thing learn. That's so annoying. I was the one doing it and I was annoyed. So if that annoyed you guys, we're in the same boat. Basically, she's clapping after every word. Basically, she said, I told you this yesterday for you to effing learn. I was fuming. I hate it when people type like that on social media. But to hear one of my more senior employees talk to a young new starter like that on her second date really pissed me off. I told Heather I wanted to see her in my office straight away. I was honest with her and said that out of all the applicants for the supervisor role, she was in my top 3 that I was considering. But I will now not be considering her at all. She asked why, and I told her. I said, after what I just saw, I believe she will be the type who would let that sort of power and authority get to her head and treat people cruelly. I said she was just asked a simple question by a new starter, and she proceeded to embarrass her and belittle her in front of other coworkers. And that is not the sort of person I want supervising a team of 20. You guys are probably tired of hearing me clap, but I just want to say a little round of applause for OP here. Like, good job. I think we need more people like OP in the workplace to stop the toxicity and call out bad behavior when it's there. Good for OP. I mean, it sounds little, right? It sounds like an annoying little attitude issue that this Heather has. But are you serious? It's so condescending. Who speaks like that while clapping? That's something you do almost like to an animal, like to someone, like to something lesser than you. That's the vibe I'm getting. You think I'm too harsh?
I don't think you're too harsh. I actually
Oh,
trying to recall a situation where I've actually seen that in person. I've never experienced that.
really?
No, I've seen some like I guess not Reddit but like comments where people do that.
Yeah.
It just to me
Like the
that
clapping
sounds
after every
very
word.
obnoxious.
Yeah.
Sounds very like I guess kind of immature to me personally,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
um, and rude. But that's just my take on it.
So it's never been directed at me, but I've seen it happen to other people. But in in context towards children actually.
Interesting.
Like in school and preschool, I remember when teachers try to get kids' attention and they're getting some of them will get a little bit pissed, to be honest, they're a little upset. They start quiet down and they'll like clap and say that, like to snap at people and get their attention or kids' attention. So in my head, that's what I'm seeing the supervisor do. But she's doing it to another grown woman, which I don't even agree with it being done to kids, much less another grown adult, you know? It makes me really uncomfortable because if I'm working, I'm assuming she's early 20s, like this is probably one of her, first jobs. And she's clearly new to the job. She's learning the ropes. She asked one question and this manager is already like snapping at her. Or not even, she's not even manager. Heather's just one of the more senior workers, I guess. And she's snapping at her in this way. It's so disrespectful. And it's really meant to humiliate and embarrass. It's not to help the employee improve. It's almost like to establish dominance. That's how I feel. Like it's almost like oh my God, how can you be so dumb that you don't get this? That's the vibe I'm getting. It's so disgusting. I hate this behavior. I see a lot in workplaces where usually it does come from a more senior member to a younger member.
You don't have to say that. There's
No,
a much better way, much more professional way to address
right?
that.
If someone's reporting to you, you kind of have the responsibility of guiding them. You're a supervisor, right? You're a manager, right? You manage people. You help them. You supervise them. You're not there to kind of crack the whip and like make them cry or upset them. So I want to say kudos to OP here for standing up for what's right. Because without OP, I think this environment, this work environment would become very toxic very quickly. So shout out to all the good managers out there. You are rare, but you are appreciated. Now, OP continues, she was so angry and has since lodged a complaint saying it's unfair she's no longer being considered for the job and she feels she's being victimized for the way she communicates. Did she just Did Heather just pull a Uno reverse card? She just went, no, no, no. How dare you not promote me? I am the victim here. Did she just call this a communication issue? I mean, I guess technically you can say it's a communication issue, but really the issue lies with Heather as a person. No, like she
See,
just
she would. I don't think she would even call it a communication issue. She would call it communication style.
oh, I love that. I like to say that in the work world or business world, there's some things you don't really say out loud. You kind of like maneuver it linguistically so that you're really like kind of dodging what it really is. You're covering up with like pretty floral language, I like to call it. Oh my gosh, I can imagine she's getting called to HR about her complaint. And HR is like, "What's the matter, Heather?" And Heather goes, "You don't understand. I am a victim in this toxic work environment. I am being prejudiced against and biased for the way I communicate." When in reality, she's out here terrorizing other employees in a workplace, clapping in their faces, being all condescending. Like, ugh, that's so gross. I would actually be embarrassed. I'm kind of almost like surprised by her audacity.
To be honest, I'm not surprised.
No, that's shameless.
Yeah, there's always gonna be people who are gonna double down on things such as that and just say that this is how they are. You're being prejudiced against me because I'm doing something differently. Well, there's time and place for that, right? There are actual scenarios where that might be the case. But I would say generally, like that type of communication behaviors would be considered rude. Unless
Yes.
unless maybe perhaps I'm uneducated, I missed some kind of latest latest thing where that is somehow
So
okay to do.
what is it? Coworkers Monthly magazine
Yeah,
says.
where that is an effective
New
communication
style.
style, right? Where you clap in between every word.
I would be so embarrassed. You know what's crazy? The confidence. I feel okay, she's a workplace bully. That's what she is. Heather's a workplace bully. Her confidence is something to be admired though, because not only does she get caught by her own manager for doing that, she then goes, "Oh, ho, ho. Not today. I am the victim here, and I will now complain on you." But then her goal for all of this is to get a promotion. I'm like, who is going to listen to you when this is the way you're going about your promotion and your attitude in the workplace? No one's going to respect you. That's crazy, right? Am I Delulu or is Heather Delulu? Maybe we're both Delulu. Now, OP says, I don't think I'm an a hole for not giving her the job, but am I the a hole for telling her why she's not getting it now rather than just dealing with the applications and telling her afterwards that she has not been successful? I suppose it can be seen as a bit petty of me. What? No. If anything, I am impressed by how professional OP's been handling all of this. Most people won't tell you why you didn't get the job. Most places will just kind of be, oh, sorry, you didn't get it.
And when you truly think about this more, you can see why
Yeah.
they're covering their asses because they're gonna be some people who are gonna
Turn it around.
turn around and say this is unfair. This is which I would say that there are probably instances where that is the case for sure.
Right.
But in general, there's also
It opens a can of worms.
yeah. This is one of those examples where that's why we can't have nice things because there's gonna be people like that ruin it for everyone.
It's just so funny to me because, like, if you're considering someone for a promotion, yes, obviously, like, do they do the work? Yes. But then there's also an issue of like, once you get promoted, usually you're in a position where you work with other people, you manage a team, right? And in this case, OP says manage a team of 20. Can you imagine how they're managing a team of 20? She'd be clapping in their faces going, "Are you idiots?" Like, oh my gosh, I would lose my mind. Think of the high turnover. She would be the reason for people quitting. Oh wait, did you guys know? Like, I looked the stat up before. The top reason why people change jobs, you would think the top one would be something like more money or better job elsewhere, moving, personal issues. No, the top number one job why people decide to leave a workplace is a toxic work environment. It's their manager, specifically with the person they work with, their manager, whether or not they have a good or bad manager. And I would agree with that.
Yeah, I guess someone needs to fact check this, but yeah.
I mean, yes,
If that
fact
is
check
the
me,
case,
guys.
then
Last I checked,
I can
which is
see that.
probably like, I don't know, last year, this year. I don't remember when I checked it, but I did. I read an article somewhere that said it. So do fact check me, guys. But very obvious, OP, not the hill. If anything, I am impressed and blown away by how, like, very professional and how carefully you're handling this. I think would it have saved you a lot of trouble if you just waited to tell Heather why? Yeah. But I think you were trying to be a good manager and trying to help Heather. I think a normal person would have been, shoot, you're right. My behavior really was not great and not appropriate for the workplace or in general. And I should change that.
But
But
you
no.
see,
But you see, not Heather.
well, yeah, because at the same time, generally a normal person wouldn't be doing that in the first place.
Dang it. Why can't people be more reasonable? This is, people are crazy.
You
I don't know.
cannot reason with some people.
I feel like some people live in a vacuum. Like it's just they, themselves, and them. Like there's no such thing as them being wrong. There's no such thing as another perspective. Very mind blowing. It's just, nope, it's my way or that's it. I don't know how they live like that. That would stress me out. First comment from Cyber Maggot. Not the whole. She would cause people to leave. She's not leadership material at all. What'd I say? Oh, OP, you better start brushing up on that pile of applicants. I think you might need to start hiring new people if you keep Heather. I'm just saying. I see Heather being the beginning of an infection in the workplace. Another comment. Not that it wasn't petty, it was direct. Her inability to communicate in a professional and respectful manner is the exact reason she's being passed up. And if she has any brains at all, she'll take that to heart. Imagine complaining that you're not getting a promotion because you're incapable of not being an a-hole to your coworkers. LMFAO. Hopefully, she'll get laughed out of any HR meeting. If the HR team's any good. Yes. And overall, I'm seeing a lot of comments. Everyone's saying OP is not the a-hole. So applause to you, OP. That's the only hand clapping I'm condoning in today's story. And good job on trying to be or being a good manager. So that was our last story, guys. And if you enjoyed these readings, don't forget to like this episode and hit subscribe, guys. We're almost at 3K. And if you're listening to me on Spotify, don't forget to rate me 5 stars. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.